You had a great match with Barnett at the Bloodsport show, and I was just kind of wondering, like, I haven't heard anything upcoming about what's next for Bloodsport, what's next for you, like, how are you guys going to follow up with that show? Because that show was really awesome.
Yeah, that show was dope, man. Like a lot of good matches, good performances, good atmosphere. Kind of had a good like with the lights outside, it almost looked like almost like a Pride on New Year's Eve toned down kind of vibe, but still kind of the underground kind of feel, like in the parking lot. It was a really cool atmosphere, man. Like and that match was dope. I've loved every match I've had in Bloodsport, and that was just like a little bit of pressure. Like a lot of pressure was off just because I got there and got to the building and nothing happened, because that was booked like well over a year ago. And then whatever, the pandemic and whatever, and I got hurt the one time. Like, yeah. So it was like the third time it was booked. So like anytime that's happened to me where there's been like a cancellation or something, which is funnily enough, because I wrestled somehow like 5,000 matches and never missed a single day in WWE. But then in the last 2 years, I had like four. I had like the match with Kenny and a match with Josh, like rescheduled. And it's like the freaking typhoon hit. I had to have a match rescheduled. I was like, why is this all happening now? Like, how did I go so long without having to like miss a show? And then all these acts of God are happening around me. But so if I had like a match that got canceled, I feel extra pressure just to make sure I get it done and deliver and show up and so then it's behind me. So it's not hanging out there. So this like Josh Barnett match has just been hanging as this, it was like the Khabib Tony, you know, like, it's just like, is that ever going to happen? Like, I didn't want to promote it. I didn't want to say, like, they're asking me to talk about it on Twitter. I was like, nah, I'm not promoting it. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not saying a word about it, but you know, like, until I get to the building. I finally tweeted something because they were up my ass, like on the way to the building. I'm like, if we don't get in a car wreck, I think this match is actually going to happen. I think we're safe. So I was just happy to finally do it. And Josh is the shit. He's so awesome as a pro wrestler, just his style and the way he looks at wrestling and understands wrestling and just sees it in a different way. And you know, he's kind of a guru that I go to for thoughts and advice a lot, because he's one of the smartest guys I know in the world. And like I've talked wrestling with him, and stuff that I've learned from him, the way he looks at everything is totally different than anybody else that I know. And I like the way that he looks at stuff. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like this is, you know, then that's kind of like what Bloodsport is all about. Like, no bull crap, down and dirty. This is a fight kind of thing. And that match was like, just, that's what I, like on paper, the very first time you ever heard of that match was probably like, what? That's ridiculous. That's like some Triller shit. What is that even, you know, what's that going to be? But like, that's the style of wrestling I started with, was like, you go to the ring and you wrestle. You don't talk. You don't call anything. You know, there's no, you know, like, especially because back then I didn't even know how to do anything yet. So like, just going to the ring and wrestling and, you know, defend yourself, get your hands up, don't get tapped out. Like, that's the way I started. So like, I love doing that shit. So like, to go out there with like the best in the game in the world at it, like Josh is one of a kind, you know, and it was just so easy and just flowed so easy. And like, I was having so much fun. You like, the crowd was great. And I was all busted open because he's trying to split my face wide open and shit, but I was trying to split his face open too. It was just like, oh man, it was such a great experience. Just like the whole thing, it made the wait totally worth it to finally do it. Like, so I don't know where the next one's going to be or when, but I mean, I'm with Bloodsport for the long haul. If they're doing a show and I'm free and I'm healthy, like I'll probably be there, you know? So like, I don't know exactly when, but you know, it'll be a lot easier too once the kind of world gets back to normal too. Like, so, you know, it's all on the up and up on that front.
But one more thing that you just reminded me of, because I watched Dark Side and you were talking about getting your mouth cut open with a pizza cutter and stuff. That stuff with Nick Gage is so, it's like, I don't know how you see it as far as whether it's that far away from what you do with Josh, but like just to the eye of like, to my eye, like to see that documentary and the stuff that Nick does and stuff that you were talking about. And then they even played a match with you guys from back in the day. Like, do you see that style like so much different than the Bloodsport style? Because when I see it, they look like two opposite sides of the spectrum. But how do you see it?
Yeah, they're two totally opposite sides of the spectrum, and you are correct. And a lot of times I'd almost consider death matches like almost a different sport. They have a different psychology and a different tempo, and where it's like not so much like about 1-2 kick out, false finishes, and it's not quite the same. It's almost like the guys who do it the best. It's almost like an escalation of shock, where it's like, oh no, where you a lot of death matches, start out almost like whimsical, where it's like these dudes don't even have a feud, and why are they cutting each other up a glass? And people go, this is stupid. Why would they start? But like in Big Japan and so forth. But it's a different. It's because we know this is going to happen. When Jun Kasai wrestles Takeda, it's because that's what they do. It's out of respect that they're going to cut each other's faces off in the first 30 seconds. He didn't need to sleep with his girlfriend. Like there are people that are traditionalists that can't understand this. But so it's a very different psychology and a different tempo and a different thing. It's where you're trying to go like, it's like about escalation. I don't know if I can really put it into words.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's about like who's willing to go farther.
Right.
We'll start out like I'll do a little bit of this. Okay, I'll do a little bit of this, and then you do a little bit of that, and then a little bit of that, and then as it goes, then by the end, it's like, oh no, oh, I can't believe he did that. Oh no, and then oh God, and then please don't do that. Please don't do that. Oh God, I can't believe they did that. And then like please let it be over. Like you almost want to get to the point where people are looking away. Like, please just you want it to just mercifully just end this. Oh my God. And then when it's over, you're like, that was a harrowing experience. Oh my God. It's a totally different thing. And, but that being said, whether it's Bloodsport or New Japan or AEW or wherever, I kind of just do the same thing. I kind of feel the same. It just depends what is available to me. If there's no light tubes in the ring, in Bloodsport, I can't hit Josh over the head with a light tube. But if there was, I would just grab it and hit him with it. But since there's not, I'll give him a fucking sick punch the monkey single leg and take him down. I'll secure a fucking underhook. I'll do what I got to do. I just work with what's available to me. So, and there are all kinds of different scenarios. Live TV in America is different than a match in New Japan, and Bloodsport is different, and all these things are different. So you change you kind of adapt to the situation, but I kind of feel the same no matter what situation I'm in. I just might make little tweaks or adjustments.